You're also watching TVC News at 1. Let's turn attention to business now. Nigeria's reserves has continued on an upward trajectory, hitting 34.14 billion last Friday, having appreciated by 4.06% from 32.74 billion in June. According to the Central Bank of Nigeria, the increase in the country's reserves is boosted by the latest rounds of loans the federal government got from the World Bank. In May of 2024, the Bureau of Public Enterprises disclosed that the federal government has secured a $500 million World Bank loan to boost the country's electricity distribution sector, just as the World Bank revealed that the country will get $2.25 billion support to enable it to stabilize the economy. The data shows that the nation's external reserves also gained over $1 billion in just 1 month. As part of its efforts to curb counterfeit products and prevent fake products in the market, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has reiterated its commitment to protecting consumers, promote fair competition, and ensure the safety of products in the market across the Federation. It is in light of this that the acting executive chairman of FCCPC, Dr. Adamu Abdullahi, led his team to a surveillance exercise at some selected steel companies in Lagos and Ogun State. The FCCPC acting executive chairman said intelligence and surveillance report obtained by the commission indicated that certain companies were involved in anti-competitive behavior while stressing the need for thorough inspections and transparency.
There is false, misleading and deceptive as well as unfair market practices. You would go into the market to buy an iron rod of 12 mm, for instance. When they produce, what you get is 10, not 12. And this is what is the main reason that leads to all these building collapses that we have in the country. So we're talking here about the issue of safety of our people. And that is one of the core essences of consumer protection. We have to ensure the safety of our own population. And what is happening in that building space so far is something that has not been palatable. It's something that has been so worrisome to government and indeed to all well-meaning citizens of this country. So we have to look at their processes and find out if they are cutting any corners. And if they are, of course, we apply the full sanction, full wrath of the law. We are equal to a task. We will do what we are supposed to do, but we give you assurances that we cannot allow people to continue dying. So time is of essence. We'll do our very best to conclude in as little time as possible and publish.
In the financial sector, the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation says account name discrepancies in the bank verification number linked to alternative account of some defunct Heritage Bank customers is delaying the payment of their insured deposit. The managing director of NDIC, Mr. Bello Hassan, said this in Abuja. According to him, the corporation had paid a substantial amount to depositors of the bank without BVN account link issues. Mr. Hassan called on depositors of the bank who are yet to receive their insured deposit credit alert to visit the NDIC's website and complete their verification forms for their payment. He said the verification will also include depositors without BVN alternative accounts. On payment of depositors with more than 5 million naira with the bank, Mr. Hassan said they will be paid liquidation dividends. And our French stocks drove a broader rally in European shares earlier today, and bond yields fell as the far right took a smaller lead in the first round of France's elections that some expected, suggesting a hung parliament could result and hamper the party's agenda. Euro was 0.41% higher, while the Paris CAC 40 index jumped by 2.7%, driving a 1% rise in the regional stock 600 benchmark on news of far-right National Rally leader Marine Le Pen's historic gains. MSCI's Broadex Index of Asia-Pacific shares aside Japan hovered in flat territory in a subdued start to the second half of the year, having risen 7% so far in 2024. China stocks were mixed, with block stocks closing up 0.5% and the Shanghai Composite Index up by 0.9% after positive manufacturing data from a private survey contradicted an earlier official report. European Union is set to charge Facebook parent Meta with breaking the bloc's landmark digital rules. Meta launched the no-ad subscription service for Facebook and Instagram in Europe last November, saying users who consent to be tracked get a free service which is funded by advertising revenues or pay not to have their data shared. This binary choice forces users to consent to the use of the data and fails to provide them with a less personalized but equivalent version of Meta's social networks. According to the European Commission, if the investigation is confirmed, the EU could hit Meta with a fine equivalent to 10% of its global annual revenue. The union representing Canada's WestJet Airlines striking mechanics said it has negotiated a new contract with the carrier, marking an end to an ongoing strike by the workers, which has led to cancellation of more than 800 flights. The airline says members can return to work to restore the network after the airline had to park about 130 aircrafts at 13 airports across Canada in anticipation to further disrupt operation over the coming week as it gets aircraft and crew back into position. The union said the new deal covers the next 5 years without giving details on the new pay deal. The carrier cancelled additional 410 flights on Sunday after the union, representing around 680 workers at WestJet, including aircraft maintenance engineers, went on strike last Friday after 97% of its members rejected a pay deal reached in May. In the crude oil space, prices climbed earlier today, supported by forecasts of a supply deficit stemming from peak summer fuel consumption and OPEC Plus cuts in the third quarter, although global economic headwinds and rising non-OPEC Plus output capped gains. U.S. West Texas Intermediate rose to sell at $82.08 per barrel, with an upward price reveal of 0.66%. Brent crude futures experienced an uptick of 0.64% to sell at $85.54 per barrel. And Bonnet fell to sell at $86 per barrel, with a price decline of 0.72%. And for the OPEC basket, crude oil dealers are offering $86.05 per barrel, with an upward price reveal of 0.69%. And that's business. Coming up next is